Harry Potter has become a mainstay LEGO theme. It first debuted over 2 decades ago back in 2001 alongside the release of the very first Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We got a lot of really cool sets during the first run of the theme, which ran from 2001 to 2005, predominantly following the movies. There were some iconic sets like Hogwarts Express and Hogwarts Castle, but generally speaking, LEGO back in the early 2000s was just, well, completely different from what it is today. So then the series kind of took a pause in 2005. We got a one-off Hogwarts Castle set in 2007 before the theme was revived again in 2010 for the final Harry Potter movie, The Deathly Hallows Part 2. We saw a short but memorable 2-year run of the theme then from 2010 to 2011 with some what I would consider to be quite iconic sets coming out then, especially the 2,000-piece Diagon Alley. This was around the time when I was first getting into LEGO, and I think some of these sets are really exceptional. You also saw remakes of some of the sets that they had made before in the early 2000s, like the Night Bus, the Hogwarts Express, but much more modernized versions of them. Sure, LEGO isn't quite what it is today back in 2010, but already sets were a lot more intricate, a lot more detailed. Then the theme just sort of went away after 2011. That was kind of it. It was done. There was not much more to be heard of it, and with no new Harry Potter movies on the horizon, it seemed like that might be it for the theme. However, in 2018, it returned with a bang. We got a 6,020-piece Hogwarts Castle to start things off, which at the time was either the second or third largest LEGO set ever. An absolutely spectacular build and a great way to kick the theme back into action. There was also obviously the Fantastic Beasts movies going on at the same time, and so there were a few Fantastic Beasts sets, but with the failure of those movies, that sort of didn't really go anywhere, and we mostly continued to get just mainline Harry Potter sets from there on out. And the theme has now continued every year, including into 2024. It shows no signs of stopping. But as you can tell from the title of this video, I have one really big question, and that question is LEGO running out of ideas for Harry Potter? So before we get into why I think LEGO's running out of ideas, let's give a quick recap of these 6 sets that we can expect at the start of 2024. We have the Flying Fort Angela. It's going to have 165 pieces and be $15. Then we have Hedwig at 4 Privet Drive, which is going to be 337 pieces and $20. We have the Hogwarts Castle Boathouse, which is going to be 350 pieces and $38. Then there's Hagrid's Hut, An Unexpected Visit, which has 896 pieces, $75. The Hogwarts Castle Owlery, which is 364 pieces and $45. And lastly, the Forbidden Forest Magical Creatures, which is 172 pieces and retails for $30. And at a glance, this lineup might not seem all that bad. I mean, you've got some interesting sets here. There's several that are a little bit overpriced, but there's also some that are a pretty good price. I'm especially thinking about that Hagrid's Hut set, as well as the Hedwig at Privet Drive set. So, you know, at a glance, it's maybe not all that bad, but then when you start really thinking about what's going on with this wave, when you think about what's happened since the relaunch of the Harry Potter theme in 2018, you start to notice a little bit of a pattern. Now, when the theme was first revived in 2018, I understand they come back with a bang. You have a big Hogwarts Castle set, and you want to hit those sort of iconic sets, iconic locations again. Yeah, maybe you've done some of them in the past, but LEGO today is different than it was 20 years ago. There's no question about that. And so we want to get updated versions. LEGO wants to give you better, bigger, nicer looking versions of these sets. And it's the iconic moments that sell. So it makes sense. We see, Hogwarts Castle. We see the Hogwarts Express. We get a nice Hagrid's Hut set, and then other locations like 4 Privet Drive and the Burrow, and they're nice looking sets. There's no question about that, and it makes a lot of sense. However, last year in particular, it really started to seem like we were no longer just getting updated versions of sets we had seen way in the past. we were getting updated versions or newer versions of sets that had just been on the shelf. We got a brand new Hogwarts Express last year, only a few months after the previous one had retired. We got another new Hagrid's Hut coming out in this wave, again, not long after the previous one. So all of a sudden it starts to feel like things are getting a little bit repetitive. Then we have sets like Hedwig. I mean, this new Hedwig at Privet Drive set is nice. It's a small scale, it's a good price, it's a fun way to get a cute looking Hedwig. But we already have a sort of medium scale Hedwig set on the market. And then we also have a huge Hedwig available on the market in the Hogwarts Icon sets. And now that set is absolutely majestic, but still we have 3 Hedwig sets available. And so it almost starts to feel like, is there nothing else left for them to do? Even original sets are starting to feel a little bit derivative. For example, in 2020, I believe it was, we got these Hogwarts Moments sets, which were a pretty cool idea, sort of book-style builds that you can pop open to see different moments from, the iconic moments throughout Hogwarts history. And then that was followed up by the Hogwarts Banners sets, which were admittedly different, but felt decidedly the same. Same thing with the Hogwarts Castle system. We got smaller minifigure scale builds that were different sections of Hogwarts Castle, and they could all be assembled together to create this really cool final minifig scale Hogwarts Castle at the end of it. And then as soon as that run ended, we got yet another new Hogwarts Castle system. That's not to say there still aren't some great sets. Like I said, the Hogwarts Icons set is absolutely fantastic. Last year's Hogwarts Castle and Grounds is another incredible build. Sets like last year's Expecto Patronum are absolutely wonderful builds, and there's many, many other examples I could point to. But unfortunately, it seems like these incredible sets, these sort of diamonds in the rough, aren't even making up half of the new LEGO Harry Potter sets these days. All in all, since the inception of this theme, we have seen the Hogwarts Castle system twice. We have seen Hogwarts Castle itself 5 times. We have seen Hagrid's Hut 5 times. We have seen the Hogwarts Express 7 times in about a decade's worth of sets, which is just crazy. We've also seen the Night Bus 3 times. We've seen Hedwig now 3 times. And as I mentioned, sets like the Hogwarts Moments and Banners also feel sort of eerily similar to each other. Now, I don't simply want to make a video where it seems like I'm pointing at the obvious or complaining about the lack of creativity from Harry Potter sets. I'm making this video because I think Harry Potter is an excellent theme with a lot of incredible potential and some great ideas for sets. And so I want to share how I feel LEGO can solve this issue of stale and repetitive Harry Potter sets and breathe new life into a theme that really does have so much potential. So the first thing is set ideas. If you take a look back at some of those 2001 sets, there are some great ideas. As I said off the start, obviously sets in 2001 were very different from what they are today, but the ideas are there. Sets like the Sorting Hat or the Room of the Winged Keys, Snape's Class, the Forbidden Corridor, even sets like Harry Potter and the Marauder's Map all seem unique and interesting. They're sets that are focused on what's going on inside Hogwarts Castle rather than big buildings or structures outside it. And that is where my first critique comes into play. As we saw a few years ago with the Grand Staircase promo, LEGO is absolutely capable of doing sets that are primarily interior based. We've seen this with a lot of the Ideas sitcom sets as well. And yet they seem to be really hesitant to do that with Harry Potter, focusing primarily on external buildings and relegating the interior designs to a sort of second thought or an afterthought. With such an expansive world and Hogwarts Castle being such a massive location, there's the opportunity to recreate so many iconic moments, not worrying about the outside details, but what's going on inside. We could see things like recreations of the Gryffindor Common Room, the Great Hall, the Snape's dueling class. I'd love to see a far more detailed Room of Requirement. As we've seen not only with the sitcom sets, but also the diorama sets, LEGO is willing to make these types of builds more and more, and there is a lot of potential in that scale for play and diorama style sets that I think would really help solve some of the stale feeling that we get while still going back to those iconic locations we know and love. There are also other great opportunities for sets that they've seemingly passed up or haven't come back to since that original wave in the early 2000s. Sets like Nocturne Alley and Durmstrang Ship seem like pretty obvious candidates to get updated versions. Plus, there's lots of other moments from the movies and books that I think would translate excellently to sets. Things like the Lovegoods House, or the Wedding at the Burrow, King's Cross Station, and the Quidditch World Cup are all seemingly obvious contenders for some really nice sets in a wide variety of scales. So, with those types of new sets in mind, well, how do we actually fix Harry Potter? The first thing I think is we need to put the castle systems on hold. If we are indeed getting a new castle system in this wave, it should be scrapped. It's been done before, we've seen it before. In general, I think these sets just need more breathing room. I presented you with a whole bunch of ideas for sets, and it's not that getting multiple Hogwarts Express, multiple Hagrid's Hut, multiple night buses, multiple Hogwarts castles are necessarily a bad thing, but it starts to feel stale and like they're out of ideas when we just keep getting them again and again and again, when one retires and the next one comes out right away, or when you have 2 or even 3 available on the market at the same time. It would feel a lot more fresh if you mixed in some of these other ideas, let some of those sets retire and stay away from the shelves for a few years, and then update them and bring them back when it feels like there's more of a demand again, or when there are those who missed it previous years would now like the opportunity to buy those sets. I also think it's very important to balance the size and scale of the sets. This means everything from small play sets to larger, more detailed builds, whether that be diorama style builds or sets like the sitcom sets, more detail oriented, still can have some play features as well, but are a little bigger, more expensive, and really create iconic moments. And then lastly, UCS style sets. I think Harry Potter could really benefit from UCS style sets. In fact, we're already seeing how Harry Potter is benefiting from UCS style sets with the Hogwarts Castle, with Diagon Alley, with the Hogwarts Express, with Hogwarts Icons. This UCS scale can in fact work for Harry Potter, but I think it has to be done selectively. I feel like Diagon Alley is something that we've seen Lego modulars before, and the Diagon Alley builds look great, but I'd rather see them focus that UCS line on maybe less modular style sets. Stuff like 12 Grimmauld Place or the Quidditch World Cup, I think, are excellent candidates for UCS style sets. And it's okay to have play sets followed up by UCS style sets, be it Hogwarts Icons and the Hedwig set. But again, breathing room is important. I don't think both of them should be available on the market at the same time. When you remake a set you've made before, make it a few years later and do it different. Do it in a different scale, do it in a different type of theme, bigger, smaller, so that it still manages to differentiate itself rather than feeling like a blatant remake. To me, balancing scales here is crucial between the playsets, the UCS sets. I think this is the path forward to LEGO. This is the path to really taking all of the great potential that Harry Potter offers as a theme and actually starting to capitalize on it. This video has dragged on quite long enough, however, so I'm going to leave this here. Those are my thoughts on the state of LEGO Harry Potter, why it feels like LEGO might be out of ideas, and some of my thoughts on how they can fix it. This is a new style of video for me. It's been something that I've wanted to try out, test the waters for quite some time. It's something I want to do more of, but it's certainly a style of video that is also going to need some refining. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about this style of video, about my thoughts on Harry Potter. Do you think I'm right? Am I way off base? Do you have your own ideas in terms of fixing the Harry Potter theme, or does it need to be fixed at all? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think. If you like the video, please leave a like. It's a great way for you to show your support. Subscribe for more content like this, LEGO videos, news, and reviews especially. I have lots of on my channel, and I'm going to be doing more of these video essay style type things as well. I haven't figured out exactly how I want to format it, like I said, but definitely something you can expect more of in the future. I'm going to leave this one here. For those of you who've watched this all the way to the end, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next one.